I find it's very rare nowadays that I'll actually complete a game in one sitting, whether that game is an hour long or 5 hours long. So when a friend of mine told me that I would not be able to put down Pitiri 1977 until I completed it, I kind of took it as a challenge. Pitiri 1977 is a very small indie game developed by, again, a small company called I Like Sci-Fi Games. And this game was released onto Steam in December of 2014. It seems to be extremely underplayed and one of those hidden games. Now, these games can either be hidden gems or utter shit like Dusk 12, for example. So, which is this? Going into the game, you can tell at the menu that this game was actually drawn and not made in any sort of real engine. It has a very indie art style to it right off the get-go, which I absolutely adore, and it sets the main atmosphere for the entire game as well. The story follows two very young brothers. The younger one is playing in his room with what looks like an X-Wing, fucking awesome, when his older brother notices he is actually glowing. His older brother comes to look, and the younger brother is taken by some large creature we can't really identify. You then take control of the older brother and run into a playground, seeing a weird tube structure that you immediately jump into because apparently you are one trusting dumbass. This puts you in some dark, dank basement area, which you climb out of to find a robot. You ask him if he's seen your brother, and he asks you for 2 missing parts to possibly help find him for you. You go back down, retrieve them, and he tells you there's a high likelihood he is on this ship, which turns out to be some sort of large biosphere. You then go into a tube system which acts as the main transport between level areas. Now this game gets quite interesting here, and the main gameplay elements really come to light. In each level, either at the start, end, or sometimes even in the middle, there are what the robots call pins. These give you certain powers to help finish the level, and by the end of it all you will have 5. Jump, roll, levitate, fire, and some sort of electric ESP. Now the main villains are set up to be these things called space fleas, which the robots hate and say the humans do too, which is reinforced by signs left by former inhabitants of the spaceship. You run into very few of these, and every time you do there's a set way to kill them, like exploding crates or security pipes. Now we venture into spoiler territory, so if you want to play it yourself, I would stop watching here or at least skip to the end. At the end, you go inside the wrecked Space Flea ship and encounter the game's boss, a giant robot. This robot explains that the Space Fleas are actually the good guys and they are the ones giving the kid his powers, and the robots tricked him into killing them. You defeat this boss and go to a room behind him where your little brother is, and he's also with the King or Queen Space Flea, who has died or is unfortunately dying. And he explains further how the Space Flea leader brought him here to help, and that they could finally go home. They use a pipe to get home and get back to their house where their parents can't believe they are alive, since it has been apparently 5 years since they left. The game ends with the Pitiri 1982 on the screen, and I take this as a sequel hint. All in all, is Pitiri a gem or junk like Dusk 12? I would say gem. It's what a $5 indie game should be. Great artwork, great story, easy but fairly unique gameplay elements, and not overly long. Now some people say that they want a longer game, but sometimes I like to be able to sit down and play a game end to end and not worry about save points to continue later. While this game does have save points for you to continue later if you want, it's nice to have the short experience, and Pitiri delivers said experience in a really unique way. Anyone who is looking for a game that's going to take you anywhere between 40 minutes and 2 hours, depending on how good you are at puzzle platformers, or if you go for the collectibles and stuff like that, Pitiri is definitely a game for you. It has a really nice art style, a really good story, and it isn't too long, so you can play it in one sit-down session if you want to. There are save points throughout the game as well, in case you have to, whatever, go use the bathroom or something, I don't know. So, it's a really good game if you're looking for something like this. If I was to give it a score, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Enjoyed that video? Well, check out my last one up Wednesday on Insanity's Blade, or maybe my Console Minute series. I did one recently on the Nintendo 64. And if you really enjoyed, leave a like and, hey, maybe even subscribe. Thanks for watching.